The previous execs were dead as doornails. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from the story I am about to relate. 'Twas inside the offices of Electronic Active Softworks. There sat Robert Gilmore, working late into the night.
Come in.
Mr. Gilmore, I've just come from QA, and we were wondering if perhaps we could have the day off tomorrow, as it's Unicorn Dance Party.
Time off? Oh, if you want time off, I can sack you and whip you, and then you'll have some time off.
No, okay. I mean, obviously we'll be here tomorrow. I mean, but I was just thinking maybe just a little clemency, sir, because poor little Tiny Tim hasn't spoken since the last time he was flogged.
I don't know what you expect of me. This is a company. We make products. You should be working, not working.
Yes, absolutely. Terribly sorry, sir. And later that night, when Bob Cratchit finally left for work, he made his way along the cobbled streets, passing a homeless person.
Spare some change, mate.
Oh, certainly, yes. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. You are most kind, queer and pleasant stranger.
Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where two queer trans ladies talk about our weeks, do some skits, make some voices, just have a bit of a catch-up and a good time.
That's us.
How are you doing this week, Jane?
I'm all snuffly and full of meh.
Yeah, I'm a bit full of meh as well today. My stomach is doing uncomfortable, naughty backflips. It's just not having a good time.
Oh no, I do a stroke to make feel better.
I have a poorly Tomkin, but it's fine, because I will push through as best I can, because the podcast needs to continue.
The podcast must go on.
Indeed. So yeah, it's been a week this week.
It has been a week. What's happened? I don't know. My head's full of slime.
We did some house cleaning.
We did. We had an inspection, so we did a house clean.
Our house is looking very clean and tidy, which is good because we've got guests coming to visit soon. We had a bit of a dance.
We had a bit of a dance.
Some good music that we will mention later. We had a good wiggle.
We had many good wiggles. I was able to keep up despite my weird foot issues at the moment, but I kept going all night. I had a good night. We got home at a good time.
Yeah,
it was not like an absolutely epic journey across.
Yeah, it was a relatively good time was had.
A good time was had by all.
Yes, we had a sleepy movie day, and we'll get onto those movies in a bit.
Oh,
and we had a tidying day. And it was an alright week.
We did.
Yeah, should we start with what we've played this week, which I don't think is much.
Not a huge amount.
Not like last week. Last week it was a bunch.
It was an absolute bunch.
I think it was nearly an hour that we just what we'd played last week.
Well, I can definitely cut that down this week. Do you want to start?
Yeah, why not? I'll start. So, I played more Smash Brothers. That game continues to be... There's a huge amount of content in it, and it's all very interesting. I came across one bit in World of Light that I'm unsure how I feel about, and I need to talk to some other people about, and I might report back on in future, but there was a thing that I was like, oh, that feels maybe a bit iffy. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Oh dear.
But generally... I'm still having a very good time. There's a fucking lot of video game in this video game.
Well, that's good. We like a lot of video game. We like a good sense of value.
Yeah, I still haven't unlocked the full roster. I'm still plugging my way through that. What about you? What have you been playing this week?
Not a lot really. If I'm honest, I've been playing a bit more Katamari Damacy reroll, and I've done a bit more Basingstoke. I did a stream last week for some Basingstoke. I'm finally about halfway through that game after nearly a year.
Did you finally get past that level you were stuck on? Did you?
I did. Well, I've been like the session, the stream I did of Basingstoke before the last one. I finally got past the bit I was stuck on, and that was a long ass stream of me just dying a lot. And then last session was again quite a lot of dying and going back, and I did all right. And then doing much better now. So yeah. I'm very much enjoying Basingstoke. I would definitely recommend it, and it is definitely in the runnings for, if not Game of the Year, certainly within that top 5.
So for me, I played more Pokemon Let's Go this week. I finally discovered that yes, you can get shiny Alolan forms in that game via the trade with NPCs mechanic. So that's an extra 12 shinies that I have to try and get on my shiny quest. I'm further away than I thought, but I'm going to get my 150 first before I worry about that. You play anything else?
That's it.
I got one other. I played a game called The Hex, which is by the person that did Pony Island, which was a sort of, it sort of messes with you. It uses information on your computer to sort of put you a little on edge while it tells a story. This is another game that somewhat tries to blur that line between player and the game going on. It does some things that make use of information on your computer to try and make it feel more real. A very early game example I'll give is early on in the game you're playing a platformer, and it's clearly like a knockoff Sonic. And you start jumping across platforms that are made of Steam reviews for the game.
Okay.
And some of them will use the faces and names of people on your Steam friends list to make it seem a little more tied into reality. Okay. It's a combination of basically the whole thing is you start the game in this big manor house, and the proprietor of the house gets a phone call, and it's like, one of the 6 people you have in your house right now will commit a murder tonight.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And you play as all these video game stereotype protagonists. So you've got the magic-wielding woman from a JRPG, and a mascot platformer, and a first-person perspective person that does not talk because they are just a pair of arms and legs because that's all the camera sees. They do a very good job of making all of the gameplay styles feel like the kind of genre they're from, while only using the WASD keys and a left mouse click.
Okay. To
make all these distinct genres work, and that's kind of impressive.
Nice.
There is more to it than there initially seems. I felt like I had to play... While all of the individual game things you play through are all distinct and interesting, I think each one of them could have done with being 15 minutes shorter, get that whole game maybe an hour and a half quicker to get to its particularly interesting narrative turn that it takes. It was a little slow, and I felt like I was pushing through at times just because I wanted to see what was next. But when it reaches its very clear narrative turning point, it's totally worth having played through to get to.
Nice.
All things maybe 4 or 5 hours, and it was interesting. I still don't quite know what I feel about it, but I found it interesting. It definitely didn't feel like a waste of my time to play it. So that was The Hex.
Yes, I'm curious about The Hex, because I did enjoy Pony Island, so I would like to go and give that one a try.
I think it'd be worth you playing. You're welcome to log into my Steam and give it a go if you like. But yes, I think that's everything we've played.
I think that is.
Well then, it's time for this.
And so, dear listeners, we continue our tale. Inside the bedroom of Robert Gilmore. He's woken by the spirits of Unicorn Dance Party Past.
What's going on? What's going on?
I am the spirit of Unicorn Dance Parties Past.
You're some kind of ghost. What are you here for?
I am here to show you your Unicorn Dance Parties Past. Come with me, back in time to when you were a child.
I'm back at boarding school, studying business.
Yes. Your parents abandoned you here. They left you here.
It's not really a problem, is it? It meant that I had more time here to be learning all sorts of useful things. Flogging! Wouldn't have known how to flog the interns if not for this place. It's wonderful. Didn't have to deal with my parents either. Bloody brilliant.
And was there no one that you loved or cared for?
Not really. I was just interested in business and learning how to flog interns.
Oh, right, but you really are awful.
I'm not awful. I'm a fucking genius.
Released this week, it's Now That's What I Call Unicorn Dance Party.
A collection of all the greatest Unicorn Dance Party music to get you in the Unicorn Dance Party spirit.
Wilkinson, Afterglow.
Yaki Yaki by Mori Kante.
Afrojack, Shermanology, Can't Stop Me Now.
Getting Down the Germs by Gerard Way.
Bass Nectar, Slam Dunk featuring Dunklebunt.
Boombayah by Blackpink.
Happy Home, Keep On Writing, Kimya Dawson.
Agape Mo, Illuminati.
Clean Air featuring Burrow Banton, the JFB remix.
Now, you might be noticing that there's no real unifying theme between these tracks. That's because a Unicorn Dance Party track can be whatever the heck you like. If you like it, it's Unicorn Dance Party music to get you in the season. So, pick up Now That's What I Call Unicorn Dance Party. You don't even have to buy it, just put your favourite songs together in a big playlist.
Exactly, it's as many tracks as you want it to be. So,
what have you put in your eye spaces?
Oh, I think this is the big one this week. We watched like 4 films back to back.
That we did.
So which one do we want to start on?
We'll start with the first one.
We'll start with Venom then. So we watched that Venom film.
We did.
It was an enjoyable film. It kept my attention the whole way through. I think you put it really well where you said I didn't feel the need to check my phone at all during it. I can see what they mean. Like, who was it that gave that quote that was like, yeah, they left the best 40 minutes of this film on the cutting room floor?
Whoever played is Eddie Brock, I think.
Yes, the Eddie Brock person. I keep forgetting the actor's name, but yeah, it's an interesting film. Like, I feel like the thing that was cut out that I really could have done more with was the buddy cop, like, growing friendship between Eddie and Venom.
Yeah, it felt like they had suddenly got this bond between scenes.
Yeah, because we sort of get, like, this is the first time that they've done a thing together, and now they're going to go save the thing, and it's like, I have decided humanity is worth saving because of my friendship with you. And, like, clearly they have good chemistry, but it feels like we skipped the 40 minutes that was them getting to go on silly adventures.
Yeah, just because the symbiote knows, just because Venom knows because he's in Eddie's head, I don't feel that is enough to cover that ground.
Yeah, but I see what people mean when they say that this film is best enjoyed as kind of a rom-com more than a superhero film.
We did keep making jokes about that, like, and that's the moment that they fell in love.
But, like, it has that energy to it, though. It's kind of a rom-com with action scenes thrown into it, as much as it's a superhero, anti-hero film.
I must say I was disappointed by the kiss.
Yes, no one had told me quite the full context of that kiss, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually kind of disappointed with what happens, like, where the kiss ends up. I'm like, I wanted it to...
Yeah.
I wanted... Or at the very least, I wanted more commentary from Venom later about that kiss.
Yeah, you know, some idea that it might involve the beginnings of a polyamorous triad.
Yeah, but it's not a bad film. I can understand why people who went into that wanting a superhero, anti-hero film might have come away disappointed.
Yeah.
I think if you set your expectations right for... It's kind of a superhero film, kind of a comedy, kind of a rom-com... Just let it happen. It's certainly, you can enjoy it a lot. Like we did, I think.
Yeah. Don't expect too much from it.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to make a huge amount of sense around the middle.
Yeah, it'll just sort of happen, but yeah, enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And probably not for anyone who's big on the actual Venom canon.
Yeah, but what about you? What do you want to talk about that we watched this week?
Let's talk about the next film, which was one of my picks, which was Christopher Robin.
Yeah, that was a sweet film.
It was very sweet.
There was very little. There was very little about that film not to like. It was just a sort of very easygoing, like, you know, the genre tropes of it already. It's a parent who is too busy working to live their life with their kid who rediscovers childhood and goes, oh yes, my family is the more important thing.
It was Robin Williams' Hook but with Ewan McGregor and Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
as opposed to Peter Pan.
That's... You totally fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
It is basically Hook. Because it's the whole, no, these childhood things, that's not real, this isn't real. Oh, what's going on? I must embrace and save my childhood things in order to everything to be okay.
Yeah, and that person basically being a god to the people in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been done before.
Yeah.
But it was done very well. Like, it was well written.
It was adorable.
Sweet. All the Winnie the Pooh characters felt like they should feel.
Yeah.
That scene where Ewan McGregor pretends to beat up a heffalump is pretty great.
Yeah. It was a very sweet film.
Yeah, it was one of those that I could just watch and be like, yeah, that was just a pleasant time. What else did we watch? What was the next
after
one?
that, we watched BlacKkKlansman.
Oh,
Bit of a shift after Christopher Robin.
bit of a tonal shift. That was a good film.
It was a good film.
Yeah. We've really enjoyed, I think, all the films we watched this week.
Definitely.
We watched 4 films back to back, and they were all pretty good.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's unaware, BlacKkKlansman is kind of based on a true story of a black person who
Infiltrated the KKK.
infiltrated the KKK basically over the phone, but with a white police officer helping the in-person stuff.
A white Jewish police officer.
Yes, a white Jewish police officer. Basically managing to, for several months, prevent the KKK in this particular area from cross burnings. They got pretty high up in the KKK. They managed to stop a pretty big
They nearly ended up running that chapter.
Happened. Yeah, they almost ended up running that chapter, then had to blow the whole thing to like save some people. But it was a really interesting film. I loved the pair of leads were great. I liked getting to see Adam Driver in a role that wasn't whiny space goth.
Yes. Mocking whiny space goth on SNL. It was nice to see something else from him, because I don't know, has he done much else?
He's done other things, but like I've not seen much else of what he's done. But it was really nice as well that this film didn't shy away from the realities of that whole situation, but B, that it didn't shy away from the fact that a lot of those problems still are ongoing today. Like, its whole closing montage felt very respectful of the fact that this is not ancient history, this is problems that we still have to fight.
Yeah. Yes, that last sort of couple of bits were very like, hey, and if you've been horrified by all of this, it's literally happening now. If anything, they're getting more vocal and more organised.
Yeah, but
do something.
I like that they used sort of humour pacing of like, are they gonna get caught? What's gonna happen? That sort of like humorous pacing to somewhat like lighten the tone of a film that otherwise would have been incredibly dark.
I think it was still incredibly dark.
I think it still was.
Like the way, what was the main character's name? Was it Rob or Rod or something like that?
Rod, I believe.
Rod.
Yeah.
The way he was like, sometimes he would be on the phone to the leader of the KKK and have like other agents sitting around his desk with him, and they'd all be sort of having a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of thing did a lot to lighten the mood.
It's that, the interplay between him and Adam Driver's character, whose name I've forgotten now, but they had enough levity to not have it just be grimdark the whole time.
Yeah.
Which was needed, I think. But yeah, it was a very good film. I highly recommend it. I can see why it got the praise it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and do we want to talk about that last film we saw?
Get Out!
Get Out, which you hadn't seen before.
I hadn't seen. I knew very little about. And the one thing that somebody had told me about it was not actually the case.
What had you been told about it?
Somebody mentioned something about horses.
I'm not aware of anything about horses. So for anyone who doesn't know, Get Out is a horror film by it's Keegan Michael Key, I think. One half of Key and Peele, who are known for sort of sketch comedy, and he sort of branched out and did his first film, and it was an incredibly good horror film.
Yeah.
That deals a lot with themes of racism.
Yeah.
And Yeah.
Even, and specifically that breed of racism where there are just white people that are sort of almost fetishizing black lives.
Yeah, so this was your first time watching. What
Yes.
was your experience like?
It didn't go where I expected it to. I think he should have listened to his friend.
Oh, his friend who from the beginning is like, oh, horror trope, get the fuck out. Oh no, that's another horror trope, get the fuck out. I like his friend just being like, no, you're in creepy white person neighborhood and there's a hypnotist, get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, as soon as, like, non-consensual hypnotism happened, like, I would have been way out of there.
Yeah, but it's very good at keeping its big surprise hidden. Like,
Yeah.
the first time I watched it, I did not see where it was going.
No.
And its turn feels like it makes sense. Like, on a rewatch,
Yeah.
it definitely feels like all the clues were there, but also that none of the there weren't any lies. There weren't any, like, fake clues to throw you off, or things where it's like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense with this.
No, it is all there.
It is all there, and it's an incredibly well thought out.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing more from them.
I also like that while it's not entirely grounded in reality necessarily, it uses the areas it's not grounded in reality in believable ways that make sense with the world we have.
I mean, apart from the fact that that's not how hypnotism works, it feels very possible, which I think is the best kind of horror.
That's the thing, is
there was no magic.
It's no magic, and it's not anything like here is the big monster that will fight you with its space gun. Like, it felt real in a kind of tangible way that's like, good horror is like, oh, this is depressingly a thing that, like, if people could do this, they would.
The kind of nightmare that you wake up thinking, actually, that's not completely weird and wacky.
I understand why my brain found that scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the bulk of what we watched this week.
That was it, pretty much. We watched the season finale of Doctor Whomstead.
Oh yes, we did. That was an interesting one.
It was.
Yeah, I generally feel like this season has been really strong.
Yeah, more Jodie Whittaker, please.
Yeah, there's not been a huge amount of, like, the big sci-fi storylines, and I like that we ended the season on a big, here is the sci-fi big bad again.
Yeah.
Because that sort of, like, bookended the series. Like, start and finish were big sci-fi episodes. Yeah. And then we had lots of here's the human condition episodes in the middle. Mm-hmm. It's been a good season.
I look forward to seeing what the New Year's Day episode is.
Yeah, I'm going to be sad when we don't have that to watch every week.
I know.
It's been a good watch every week. Yeah. So, with that said, if that's everything we've watched, time for this.
And so, dear listener, we return to our story. Inside the bedroom of Robert Gilmore, the spirit of Unicorn Dance Party present appears.
Oh, another one of them ghosts. Oh, what do you want this time? You gonna show me more of me best days at school, are you?
No, Robert. I wish to show you the world as it is now. Look out into the world. See with me here, people celebrating Unicorn Dance Party. See how they spend time with friends and family.
Yeah, I see it. You know what I see, though? I see some wasted potential for income. They're opening presents. They know what's in the present. They don't have to buy more presents if it's not what they want. They're going to get what they want first time round. That is not good profitable businessmanship. I reckon presents should be on a loot box based system. You open the present, it may or may not be what you want. Do you want to pay to open another present? That's the true spirit of UDP.
Oh goodness, no. No, Robert, no, it's look, here the house of Bob Cratchit. See how he looks after Tiny Tim, who's not managed to speak since that incident with Mr. Altman, flogging him brutally for not having quite got the Metacritic scores up for that latest game.
Well, that's the way it should be. People who make poor games should be seen and not heard.
Oh dear.
And so it seemed that Robert Gilmore was an insufferable prick.
Come on in, Igor. It is time.
Yes, master.
Time to bring back to life my newest creation.
Oh, I can't wait, master.
First, bring me the carcass. This one shall do nicely. It's a fine carcass. Now, insert the heart.
In goes the heart, deep into its floppy bits.
Now, insert a voice box so that it may speak.
There you go, our voice box.
Now, connect it to the innards pump, which will fill it with innards. Just assorted innards pumped in all at once.
It's filling, master, filling.
It's alive! It's alive! Oh, so one standard Build-A-Bear, that will be $12.99, please.
Here you go.
Excellent! Another creation brought to life, Igor!
Alive! So,
What has slithered its way into your ear holes, resonated against your eardrums, vibrated through the bones in your ears, and been sent as electrical signals into your brain?
I've not listened to a huge amount this week.
Listen to 8 hours of music.
Okay,
love.
I listened to 8 hours of music. I didn't listen to a lot that I remember what was. I think is a fair way to put it. So
That's fair. Yeah.
we went out and had a bit of a dance at the weekend, and we heard some music there. And I want to start with like the musical act that I was excited to hear this weekend when we went out, which was King Punch, who are like a ska band.
Yeah.
Sort of rockish
like
ska, folk punk ska.
They've got a brass section.
Yes, they put on a heck of a good live show.
Yeah.
I was having a proper skank along to the music. They were very good. You were in the room for them. You were just a bit further back, weren't you?
I was a bit further back.
What
I
did you think of them?
Yeah, they were really good. They gave good show. They got everybody up and dancing.
They managed to control that room very well.
Yeah, lots of that good ska bounce beat.
Yeah, what was there was one of their tracks that I've been listening to at home. It's called Another Bomb, which I've been very much enjoying. And the other one is, I can't remember the name of the track, but they have a track that is basically about being a person who on a Sunday stays at home watching those terrible crime dramas.
Yes.
And is like, I'm gonna work it out before you do. Detective on TV.
Yes, I think there was mention of Columbo in that.
Yeah, like there's
Agatha. Not Agatha.
I know there's a
Angela
Jonathan
Lansbury.
Creek. Jonathan Creek's
Yes.
in there. I can't remember the name of that track off the top of my head, but if you can find that one's good.
Yeah, and then after them, a little bit later, we had Rum Buffalo.
Oh, was
Who've
that
actually
the...
seen there before.
Oh, have we?
Yes,
Were
because I
they-
recognise their bass player.
Were they the other Scar one that played?
Yes.
Yes, that did a bit of Meatloaf.
Little bit of Meatloaf, because it was a vaguely Meatloaf theme party.
Yeah, I was really digging that. Oh my goodness, was that the time that they played?
Yes.
Yeah, I was really enjoying the ska that night. They had some very good ska. But yeah, Rum Buffalo, check them out as well. They're very good. What about you? What you listen to?
I was listening to the same things you were. The first hour wasn't actually. God, were they open already? And so after having a bit of a dance downstairs, we popped to the middle floor and we listened to DJ Easy spinning some bit of glitch hop, bit of electro swing.
Ooh, there was some good music
They have
in
some
there.
very good tunes in there. A lot of Ghetto Funk All Star tracks, but I can't remember off the top of my head which tracks they were.
I remember that room fondly because there were there was a lot of laser lights on and people like trying to climb through them as if they were spies.
Yes,
and,
there was a lot of that.
and that always makes me laugh watching people try and be like, oh, get through the lasers.
People who'd bought toy laser guns that were standing at one side of the room, holding it at the end of the laser like they were shooting the laser.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Easy had a very good set.
Yeah. One that was technically for watch. We watched the Happy Slap Boutique Takeover, which was like an hour of cabaret.
Oh, was that the Christmas themed cabaret that got very interesting.
Yes, there was the giant googly eyes on either butt cheek and a carrot between that person's buttocks.
The thing I remember was Mrs. Claus coming out with her
On a
walker
Zimmer frame.
and then like throwing away most of her clothes and just having like oversized granny pants with
With a wig.
a wig
stuffed
to be
down.
fake. Santa whipped off all his clothes other than his underwear, and he could properly dance.
Oh yeah, we'd been dancing with him earlier in the night.
Santa
some
got
good moves.
some moves.
Yeah.
I described it as very quick kung fu dancing.
Yeah, there was lots of chopping actions.
Yeah.
Some good footwork too.
Yeah, we had an interesting night of music.
We did, and they whammed the entire building simultaneously.
Oh my goodness. So I wasn't with Jane at this moment, and Wham comes on, and I'm just like, oh, it's a song about it's a sort of lovey song, and I gotta find Jane so I can be with her when this music is happening.
Meanwhile, Jane was doing her usual things when Christmas songs come on anywhere, was trying to wander around the building, trying to find somewhere to not listen to that track.
Well, and we both had the same problem, because I'm wandering around in circles trying to find Jane. Jane's trying to find somewhere where there's no Wham, and the Wham is in every room.
Yes, because the organiser decided he was going to wham the entire building at once, over 1,000 people.
Yeah, so I thought I was losing it. I left the room and was like, is this just a very similar Christmas song that is also a sort of lovey one? Or
No,
if I...
It's Last Christmas
Didn't
Everywhere.
I just hear that? No, it was Last Christmas Everywhere.
Yeah.
That confused me for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's everything I've listened to this week.
We also listened to the Adventure Zone Live Candle Nights 2018 special.
Oh, we did. That was really sweet.
It was really beautiful. It was very lovely. More back to the Tres Horny Boys.
It may be my favourite of their little one-shot live shows that they've
Yeah.
done. It had a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah, they squeezed a lot in there because it seemed at the beginning like, God, Griffin is really running through this plot.
They had 3 distinct narrative arcs going on in that very short episode, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and the boys made it very funny in their interactions with the world that Griffin painted. So, yeah, well done. More Taz, like Taz. Yeah.
Is that everything we've listened
That's
to?
everything we've listened to.
Well
So-
then.
And so, dear listeners, we return to our story. The spirits of Unicorn Dance Party, past, present, and future, felt that they must give up on Robert Gilmore. And so the spirit of Unicorn Dance Party Future went to visit Bob Cratchit in his house.
Good riddance. Didn't want your long tutorial anyway.
Bob Cratchit.
Oh, hello.
Lovely to meet you.
Oh, are you a ghost, are you?
I am the spirit of Unicorn Dance Party that is yet to come.
Oh, I feel like I probably should have got a past and a present first, but hello, it's nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, they were wasted on your employer.
Oh goodness, was he not reciprocative to ghostly gifts of knowledge?
He is an irredeemable shit.
Yes, that seems about right for him, sir. I mean no disrespect, sir.
Come with me into the future. Let me show you.
And so the spirit took them forward into the future. There they found a snowy graveyard. And what did they see upon that tomb?
Oh, whose grave is this? I'm rubbing away the dirt of the years, and what's this? Oh, it's Robert Gilmore.
That is correct. You see, you have the potential, Bob Cratchit. You could be the one to show the world what it is like when the dev team and the QA team unionize.
Are you suggesting that we're stronger together than we are apart, and that perhaps we might be able to undo some of these bad business practices?
There are more of you than there are of them.
I think I heard a chart about that once. There are many, many more of us than you.
Quite so.
And so, thanks to the advice of the spirit of Unicorn Dance Party Future, the devs unionized and burnt Electronic Actors Softworks to the ground with all the execs inside. There was laughing and merrymaking, and everybody had a wonderful time. Unicorns, bless us. Everyone.
You've spoken, Tiny Tim.
Thank you, Bob. You gave me the power to come back after the trauma of what happened with Mr. Altman.
Merry unicorn dance party to all, and to all a good night.
This is a public information announcement. This week we will be discussing Unicorn Dance Party.
Are you prepared for unicorn dance party? Have you checked your unicorn dance party checklist?
Do you have fairy lights?
Do you have good people?
Do you have your unicorn onesie or strap-on horn?
Do you have inebriants if you so desire?
Do you have snacks?
Do you have cozy spaces?
Do you have the option of making perhaps a snuggle cave or blanket fort?
Do you have a good soundtrack? Might we suggest, now that's what I call unicorn dance party.
Most importantly of all, Unicorn Dance Party is within you. Wherever you are, whatever you do, whoever you spend it with, even if you are alone. The point of Unicorn Dance Party is to dance all your cares away. Move as much as you can. Be happy as much as you can. And from all of us here at the Public Information Bureau,
have a good unicorn dance party.
Question time! It's time for questions.
What's the questions?
V would like to know, what piece of media do you love from your past, not because it was a great piece of media, but because of the positive memories associated with it?
This is the same answer I probably give every time a question like this happens. It's Power Rangers Turbo the movie, or Pokemon the first movie. Both of which are not necessarily good films, but they were films that kept my brain okay during times in my childhood where I just needed to repetitively watch the same thing over and over again for a while.
The original Ghostbusters? I haven't watched it much recently. I'm sure I would probably find bits of it problematic.
All I really remember about that original one is there is a scene where Dan Aykroyd gets blown by a ghost.
That wasn't in the version I saw as a child, because we recorded it off of, like, ITV or something.
It shouldn't have been in the version that existed in the cinemas, because it's pointless. Apparently there was, like, they filmed a whole scene in the ghost house, and then they cut most of it, and they were just like, no, Dan Aykroyd says we keep the ghost that sucks his dick.
Yeah. See, that wasn't... I don't think that was in the version I had. There was no swearing in the version I had. I remember getting Ghostbusters on DVD years later.
Yeah.
And going, oh, bloody hell, this is quite sweary. I don't remember this.
This is rather saucy.
The joys of, like, 1980s TV censorship. I used to love a good TV edit.
I love a good TV or plain edit. What's the one they do for Die Hard is Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Trucker.
Oh,
occasionally happens.
That one's easy to deal with. The one I remember particularly from my youth was RoboCop.
Yeah.
You just freaked with the wrong guy. You're out of your freaking mind. I don't even play basketball. What? I have no idea what that line is about. And I haven't watched it recently enough to know. Lucy Nevins would like to know what movies are coming out in the future that y'all are interested in.
We'll see that next Avengers and that next Star Wars.
Yeah, basically Star Wars is the only one I'm really aware of that I sort of desperately want to watch.
I've really not paid much attention. Probably when it comes to the DVD release, I want to see Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Can't think of anything else really. I'm intrigued by Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Miss Marvel maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't paid enough at... Oh, Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
I want to see Detective Pikachu.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is the problem of not watching television and constantly skipping all the adverts. I don't really know what's coming most of the time.
It's a nice surprise when it's like, oh, a thing's coming out in like 2 weeks. Ooh.
I tend to get most of the movies I'm interested in from recommendations from other people.
Yeah. So that's the ones we know about. Detective Pikachu is my big one for next year. I want to see Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I think they'll do a good job with that. And whenever it's coming out, the new Deadpool movie,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. Or is it X-Force? I can't remember if it's another Deadpool movie or the X-Force
I
movie.
think
that's
we're
coming
getting
next.
X-Force first, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's next year,
I'm
but...
curious.
Pardon?
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Apologies to Samuel West, who asked this question last week, and then I completely missed it while searching through all the quiz questions last week. So, apologies for that. Samuel West would like to know: do you think the world of forms would influence how people transition in the Dice Funk universe, and if so, how?
So for anyone who doesn't listen to Dice Funk, the world of forms is this concept that exists in other stuff, but it's being referenced here for Dice Funk. Basically, it's the idea that there is you can have a chair, but somewhere in existence there is the perfect chair, like the chair that is all chairs, and that this concept works for everything, like there is a perfect version of any concept.
The most chairiest of chairs.
The most chairiest of chairs. I think you could maybe make an argument for, and I don't want to suggest anything is canon because obviously this is our Dungeon Master Austin's world and I don't want to canonize things in not his shows. You could maybe make an argument for the true form of X-trans person is the form that they're transitioning to, and you could maybe be like, hey, World of Forms, help me out here a bit with this. Maybe? I don't know.
The only way I can see it, because usually it comes through conduit powers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the only way I could see is, say, for example, if somebody was male assigned at birth and they turned out to be the conduit of non-binary.
Yeah, or
something
the
like
conduit
that.
of female, or
Or
something.
the conduit of female, or something
Yeah.
like that.
I could see that, like, that could be a thing.
Yeah, I think, like, maybe that would influence, but I don't... As I understand forms, in my limited thing from listening to Dice Funk, I'm not sure that forms would really influence in that way.
No, I think you could have conceivably a trans person who was the form of a gender that's not the gender they were assigned at birth, and that could be an interesting thing, but it's another thing I've ever explored in that universe, and until we explore it on the show, nothing is canon.
Kel Goodall would like to know, Laura, now that you have dominated the podcast world, the print world, and the online text, when can we expect your Broadway musical? What would the musical created entirely by you be like?
See, I wish I could make music. Music is a thing that I really don't know how to make, and that I wish I could create music. I would like to make, like, a rock opera about the Stonewall riots.
Awesome.
I think you could make a really cool rock opera out of the Stonewall riots.
I would watch that.
There you go. That's my answer. If I had any musical talent whatsoever, I would come up with the rock opera musical about the Stonewall riots.
Nice. Sean Kearney would like to know, how many unicorns are needed for a dance party?
As many as you have. It could just be yourself and the unicorn that resides within you. It's however many unicorns are available to you and feel like, you are comfortable having present.
Exactly. If you want to strap a horn on and dance around your living room on your own, then that's Unicorn Dance Party.
Indeed. If you want to invite the 3 closest people in your life, that's a Unicorn Dance Party.
If you want to have literally everybody you know or have ever met at your house for a massive party.
All dressed in unicorn onesies.
Or just wearing little clip-on horns, then that too is Unicorn Dance Party.
Unicorn Dance Party is a state of mind. It's a way of being.
Absolutely.
You don't need anything specific. You make the Unicorn Dance Party.
It's true. Becky Toohill would like to know, what kind of magic do you wish you could do?
Ooh, flying. Flying's a kind of magic, maybe.
It's a kind of magic.
Transformation magic seems really useful, like being able to transform one thing into another.
Yeah, I'd like to transform, being Wild Shape would be quite cool.
Yeah.
You could tell I've recently started playing a druid.
Hey.
Yeah. Flight would be a good one, definitely.
Teleportation magic.
Oh, God, yeah. That extra hour in bed.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And you know, being able to go and visit people all over the world. Like, I've got friends in America I'll probably never see. I've got friends up country will be more difficult to see, but
It'd be nice, like, the people that I podcast across the world with to be able to just, like, teleport, round them all up into one place and go, here we go, we'll all record in a room and then we'll all teleport back home.
We'll do a live show one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that would be nice.
Once a week, just teleport over to, say, Jim's place to record Podquisition with him.
Can I come?
You can come.
I'm sure we can have lots of fun after we finish recording.
Drob, hi Drob.
Hi, Rob.
We'd like to know if you could meet one person from history or currently alive, who would it be?
Is it really cheesy to just give the Jared Way answer again? I won't meet Jared Way properly. He's a very nice boy.
He is good boy. He seems good boy.
Yes. What answer you all got?
I'm not really big on sort of celebrity people. Jim, maybe? I guess that's one.
Actually, yeah, Jim's a really good answer. 4 years of working with him, I've never met the fuck. One of these days I will meet him.
I'm sure when you meet him, there will be the fuck.
Yeah, I will meet him one of these days.
I have no doubt about it. That tricky. Would like to know, Jane, which movie, game, book could greatly benefit from the addition of tentacles? All of them. Laura, which movie, game, book could greatly benefit from the addition of more butts?
All of them.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Jacob Marion would like to know, if you could make the perfect meal, what would it be?
Have you got an answer for this?
Can't remember. I'm a big fan of like bolognese things. I like pasta. Love pizza. Curry. Curry with coconut rice. Like vegetable dolpiazzo with coconut rice. If there was such a thing as a vegan naan, I would be very into that.
I don't know how many of these you can make in a vegan way, but the meal I've got in my head right now is a nice carrot soup with like a good like garlic naan. Main course, maybe just like a really nice maybe make another attempt at that vegan meatloaf that we did as a main. And then for dessert, again, don't know how easy or tough it would be to make a vegan alternative to this, but my favourite dessert I ever made was it's sort of like freshly baked cookie dough and brownie with 2 types of ice cream scooped onto it. I think it was honeycomb and chocolate were the 2 ice cream types. And it was the best dessert I've ever made.
Stop before I drown in my own juices. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to go for a dessert as well, maybe the brownies I got from my friend Nikki. She has good brownie recipe for vegans. They're all sticky and gooey and chewy and also like a little bit softer in the middle and they got pecans in.
That's good.
Yeah, I might have to make some of those for the weekend.
I'd be very up for that.
We do have a proper oven now. Because I used to have a convection oven, which meant that it sucked all of the moisture out. And the last time I tried to make brownies in it, it literally turned them from nice, gooey, lovely, chewy at the edges loveliness into literal sand. Like I baked them to take to a party, and I like cut them when I got to the party, and like I was trying to pick them up, and they were just disintegrating into like just piles of brown chocolatey sand.
Was it tasty sand?
It was tasty sand. See, if we'd had some ice cream to throw it over or mix it in with, it would have been brilliant. But as it was, I'd spent, because it's quite an expensive recipe.
Yeah.
As it was, I was like, oh well, that's like 5-6 quid's worth of ingredients, pretty much wasted.
Well, at least we have a decent oven now, so we can make proper foods.
Yeah, we do.
You got any more questions?
That's all of the questions.
So,
do you know what I want to see more of?
what do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Oh, they went past fast.
It's alright, they'll be back in a minute.
Hello, Larry.
Hello, Larry, how are you doing?
Not too bad, but tuckered out from all that fast moving.
Oh, yeah, it really takes it out of you. How's your week been?
Oh, not too bad. I'm coming down with a bit of a snuffle.
Oh, I'm a bit unwell as well. It's all going round.
Oh, no, mate. Yeah, it's that time of year, innit? Everyone's everyone's out interacting, and you know, there's a lot of people. Got to make sure your hands are kept clean. Stop all those surfaces picking up, transferring all your sticky bits and germs going around.
Yeah. So I was having a think, as I am often want to do at this sort of time in the week.
Yeah.
And, you know, the festive period is coming up. Various festive celebrations. I myself will be celebrating Unicorn Dance Party.
Same,
of course. Yeah. But, like, here's the thing. These festive periods often mean a lot of, not necessarily for me, but for other people, can sometimes mean a lot of family gatherings.
Yeah.
And a thing that often comes up there is when young family members are brought in front of, you know, older family members they haven't seen in a while, there's often a bit of pressure to interact with them in ways that sort of circumvent their body autonomy a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think, you know, a good modern parent probably spends a decent amount of time teaching their children about the rights of bodily autonomy, and
Yeah.
you know, and their right to do so. And suddenly, that very much for a lot of people seems to just get thrown out the window when it's like a family member going, "Oh, give your auntie a kiss," or
Well,
"Give them a cuddle goodbye." It's like,
yeah, we talk about to kids like, you know, if a stranger touches you inappropriately, you know, that's not okay, and you don't have to be touched if you don't want to.
yeah,
But, you know, that goes out the window sometimes when it's a parent tickling a child and the child says no and you keep going, or go give your grandmother a kiss, as she said. And
yeah.
it's this sort of not really respecting the right of these people who are people, these
Yeah.
children, to go, I as a person do not want to do this and should not be forced to do so because I have a right to not have to do these sort of physical interactions if I do not wish to.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we would never expect an adult to have to kiss another adult that they did not want to. If they said, I'd rather not do that, we'd, you know, take their word for it.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I would consider myself of still have been bordering on an adult at the very least. I must have been probably about 16 or 17 the last time I was forced by a parent to kiss a family member that I did not want to. Go on, kiss them goodbye. I don't want to.
Well, yeah.
I should have a right to say no.
I guess to clarify my point, I mean, like, once you're outside of a family setting as an adult, it's very rarely ever expected of you because you wouldn't expect that. But what you expect, you know, you force it on children, people who, you know, as the parent in the house or the adult, you know, are under your care, forcing them to do that is just not really okay, is it?
No. And then from the other point of view, you sometimes get family members who won't take no for an answer. So you might have a parent saying they've said no, and then suddenly, like, Granny or whoever or Granddad is swooping in and giving them a kiss unawares, and that's just bang out of order.
It's non-consensual and it's not okay. And
Absolutely.
then on top of just the fact that you've instigated a non-consensual encounter of some kind with them, and you know body autonomy says that shouldn't happen. It's not good, like with young kids, for teaching them those boundaries, because you can tell a kid it's all right to say no to being touched and it doesn't have to happen. But when in practice you insist they do, you know, kissing relatives that they don't want to, it tells them that, you know, that's really just words. It's, you know, you're not backing it up with actions. You're not reinforcing to them that their body autonomy is a real thing the way that you tell them it is.
Well, this is has been an issue that I've read about in articles talking about paedophile family members.
Yeah.
Where those children have been like sort of partially taught the whole you have bodily autonomy. But then when it comes to family members, that is broken down. And then if that family member is taking advantage, they've already learnt that they can't say no to a family member.
Yeah.
And that whole action becomes much more readily possible from that,
Exactly.
advantage-taking adults' point of view, all because of that.
Exactly. It's you're priming kids to not... You're not teaching them a proper education in their body autonomy if their body autonomy is conditional and every festive period sort of goes out the window for family.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad we had this chat. It's an important thing, you know, that these things be consensual. And you know what? I can really do with a hug if you consent to that.
Absolutely.
Because, you know,
absolutely.
body autonomy.
Yeah. Oh. Sweet. Consent. It's good.
Consent is good.
Yeah.
Ongoing consent's important. You can,
Oh,
you can
absolutely.
leave this hug at any time.
Yep, thank you, that's true. Ongoing and enthusiastic consent, of
Exactly.
course, the other one.
There we go.
Good hug, mate, good hug.
Good hug, good hug. Right, shall we go have a cup of that? Maybe find some tea with some ginger in it, see if it settles me stomach.
Oh, that's a good plan, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pop the kettle on.
Pop the kettle on.
Laura!
Yes.
Where can we find you on the internet, darling?
You can find me at Laura K Buzz pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere.
Ooh.
Laura K Buzz on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. That's the big ones. You can find my books that are on the internet. Things I Learned from Mario's Butt is on Unbound. You've still got like 5 weeks or so that you can get the backer rewards for that if you want. It'll be available on Unbound's website after that, and then it'll be available through other retailers once that's all nailed down. You can also find Uncomfortable Labels, which is my memoir that's coming out in July 2019. That's getting closer now. That's what? January, February, March, April, May, June. We're down to 7 months. It's getting there. It was 10 months last I thought about it. So that's coming out next year. You can pre-order that in various places on the internet in various languages. Just Google Uncomfortable Labels, Laura Kate Dale. You'll probably find it. Other than that, I'm on Dice Funk. It's a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast. I'm on seasons 3, 4, and 5. They're all self-contained stories, so just jump in wherever you feel like. And I think that's about it. What about you?
I am Jane Aerith Magnet. I can be found as Maniac Janiac on Twitter and YouTube. Jane Aerith Magnet on SoundCloud, where you might be listening to this now. I can also be found on stonemonkeyradio.blog, where I review video games and board games and shiz. And I will shortly have my end of the year stuff going up. And I will shortly be appearing on a D&D podcast called Badly Designated Heroes on the Curiosity Epidemic Network, and that's with myself, Becky, and James under the guiding hand of DM Nick, and that will be coming out. Maybe by the end of January. I think we will have like the first episodes out. We're getting a good few recorded before we go.
You think that's a very good idea?
It means we can have time off or be sick or whatever if we need to.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to have that luxury.
Yeah, especially when if you've got a bit of a sore throat and you've got to do voices for like 2+ hours, it can be a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very hyped to get that out in the world soon. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So Laura, sing us out.
Until next time, be a stranger.
And a stranger they were indeed.